Eskel is the first comment. I'm cleansing my room. This is supposed to cleanse all of the negative energy. This is supposed to clear my depression away, and it's not working, so I'm gonna write a bad review. Just kidding. Hi Mary. Hi Eskel. So if you're wondering what the smoke is, it's just this little incense. David's here, Gina's here, Sandy's here, Alice is here, Olivia's here. Glad I didn't take my sleepy meds. I know, I literally sat in front of this camera for like 30 minutes. Just like sat here like. Literally, that was the last 30 minutes. I was just like trying to cleanse and it wasn't working. So here I am. In my nightgown. Is it inside out? Probably. Is there coffee stains all over it? Most definitely. But I'm here and I did my makeup at least a little bit for you guys. Is there a tampon box in the back? Is there a tampon box in the background? Yes. But I showed up for you guys. Because you guys are the best and you show up for me. So I'm just gonna warn you. Oh, all the ashes got all over my phone. I was trying to cleanse you guys too. Well, it doesn't even work, so I'm just gonna put it out. It's making me more depressed. I'm just gonna warn you guys, this episode's going to be, it's not going out. Hang on, I'm gonna put it in this water over here. This episode is not going to be as like matter of fact, professional, whatever all the rest of mine are, because I literally am just grateful that I made it here. Okay? The bare minimum is exceptional today. So, today is episode 28. I'm just going to read word for word who number 28 is, and then we'll get into answering questions and things like that. Oh, happy Father's Day. Just kidding, I don't have one. Just okay. So let's get into, let me just read who number 28 was. He passed away. So I got information from a very good source. I'm just going to read off what they have said. Number 28 was Melvin Edward Atwood. So he is the son of Soren and Rachel Atwood. So Melvin's parents had 9 children living on a farm in Cleveland, Utah, and they were introduced to the order in 1937. They were looking to join, hang on. They were looking to join, They were looking to join and agreed to consecrate the family farm, but it wasn't long before a property dispute came up. The property was returned and the Atwoods went on their way. And so this is just a good example of how back in the day people were able to get their property back, actually. Thank you, Denise. I'm going to be going to get more coffee today. I actually have some coffee right here. And it's spilled all over my nightie. So back then it was easier, I guess, to get your property out, because it was like 1937. The order had only been existing really for like a few years. They didn't really fully grasp how to control people quite yet. So the property was given back at the time, but nowadays, like, you leave with the clothes on your back. If you guys watch Escape and Believe Me, you know how hard it is to get your own belongings from the order when you're trying to leave. So anyways, Melvin was 24 at the time, but chose to stay in the order, even though his family dispute happened. So Melvin's 24, he stays in the order because he had an interest in a woman named Besta. And 2 years later, on March 3rd of 1939, Melvin, 26, married Vesta, 17. The newlyweds moved to Kaysville, where Vesta's parents owned some land. Melvin took a nearby job as a mechanic at Hill Air Force Base to make ends meet, which was frowned upon by Order members. Melvin, being the lone Atwood and having an outside job, meant Order members never treated him very well. So Melvin was very resourceful with his hands, though. So the old saying, one man's garbage is another man's treasure, fits here. So Melvin would bring wooden shipping crates home from the base and then use the wood to build a huge tent structure, a tent that they lived in while building their home. In fact, there was a family wedding held at the same structure 15 years ago. Melvin was said to be an amazing banjo player too, and he's rumored to have sipped from a barrel of homemade peach whiskey kept in the corner of a garage as he played. Melvin and Vesta never lived polygamy, but had 8 children over the years. On March 25th, 1962, at the age of 49, Melvin was killed in an automobile accident in McLean, Texas, after being ejected from an overturned vehicle. Approximately 5 years after his death, Melvin's friend, this is the part that gets me. Melvin's friend marries Melvin's wife after he dies. Guess who his friend is, you guys? Remember episode 20? Oh, I just lost my place. I just want to make sure I'm getting this right. 24? Remember Hiram Peterson? Remember that? He marries his best friend or friend's wife. So let me read that again. After he dies, 5 years after his death, Melvin's friend, Hiram Peterson, takes Vesta as his second wife. Vesta was 47 when she had one more child with Hiram. And I thought that it was interesting because it was I believe children of this family said these words. I want to read their words so that I can make sure that this is exactly how they want it said. So apparently they interviewed their grandma to make sure that this is all. They interviewed their grandma. So he was criticized for working at the Hill Air Force Base because it was an outside job, and after he died, he had some kind of fundage from Hill Air Force that the grandma received to support her kids, which is Vesta. So Vesta received this after he passed away, and she said she couldn't have made it without that because all Hiram was getting. This is what the kid. This is the exact words of the kid, so not my words, their words. She said she could have made it without that. She could not have made it without that money because all Hiram was giving up was that sweet, sweet D every other week or so. So Hiram contributed absolutely not really very much to her other than, really, is that even contributing? Not really, I don't think so. Happy Father's Day, you guys. But yeah, the banjo story was an interesting one too, that they were sipping on alcohol. But I have also heard that a lot of Order members back in the day did drink alcohol, which is funny because they're so like anti that, you know. Now, even though back in the day they all were doing that. I'm sure a lot of them were smoking too. I had something else I did want to bring up. I made notes and I like was so motivated, and then like all morning I've just kind of been like in this weird funk because it's Father's Day and because I keep seeing like Order people praising their dads for like the dads that they see once a month that they don't even know. It's like, oh my gosh, I love you so much. I don't even know you, but I love you, you know? It's so easy to love someone that you don't really even know anything about. But also, how can you have this undying love for a stranger, you know, that you don't even really have a relationship with? I guess I'm one to talk because I did. I like worshipped the ground my dad walked on when I was a kid. I was like, thank you for existing. Thank you for beating me. I wanted to clarify something because someone was a little confused about one of my videos saying things like, I guess they're confused about the conditional versus unconditional love thing, and I get that that can be confusing, especially when you come from a place where all you've seen is conditional love, and so you praise these men for loving you in the only way that you know exists. And I don't know how I'm gonna explain this in a way that makes sense, I guess, but I just remember, I'm gonna use an example with my dad. When I moved in with my adopted family, and they were doing so much for me and helping me so much, my dad said, the only reason that they're helping you is because they think that they're gonna get a higher place in heaven for helping you. So basically, no one does anything unless they get something in return. And I remember thinking, that's how my dad lives. He only does things for other people if he thinks he's gonna benefit in some way, whether it be in the afterlife or that's conditional love, you guys. Conditional love is, how can you benefit me? I'm not just gonna love you unconditionally. I'm gonna have you benefit me, and if you can't benefit me, I'm not going to love you. That's conditional love. Thank you, Steph. I had a whole other speech and tangent I was gonna go on, but I kind of am emotionally drained from today, and I wanted to talk about some experiences I did have with my dad because I think it's relevant for Father's Day, because I'm sure he's having a big Father's Day bash for Father's Day. He's having his 30 plus kids, you know, put him on a pedestal and just bow down to him, and he's just really riding this high today. And thank you, M Phoenix. I wish you knew how amazing you are, and I would be so blessed to have you as family. You're so beautiful and said, oh, thank you. You're gonna make me cry. I've been really emotional today. My goal today is not to cry on the live stream, but thank you, M Phoenix. What was I gonna say about all of this? Lisa, that's a good point. When that is all you know, you do what you are taught. When we know better, we do better, right? I assume that they worship their fathers because that is all they know and see from everyone around them. And it's very encouraged to worship your father because he's this man on a pedestal who's going to take you into heaven, right? And he's a numbered man, and you're not only your peers are telling you to worship your dad, but the leader is telling you, and your mom is telling you. And when I left, I was like, why were we all worshiping him when he did some pretty messed up things? Like, there was sexual abuse within the first wife. She had a lot of predators as her children that I know of because I'm in the family. And you know what my dad did? He protected them. And when I was 17 and voiced that I did not want to go to church anymore, I didn't believe in the group, this is I don't think I've ever told this story, but I think it should be known because here he is being praised for Father's Day while he disowns his kids who don't want to be forced into the religion, forced into the belief systems that he wants them to have. When I was fighting him on going to church, he held me down. I'm 17 years old. He holds me down and he slaps me repeatedly. And then he threatens to change my clothes into church clothes in front of everyone in the living room if I didn't get dressed. Then tells my mom to go get the church clothes. Like, I was like calling his bluff. I don't want to go into the entire details of the entire encounter, but that is the father that I was supposed to be so grateful to have. And people in the order are confused by me saying, oh, you should be around people who respect you and love you and build you up and not tear you down. And I guess people in the order are taking that as, well, Amanda, you're preaching that you should cut off people that are toxic in your life, and order people are doing that and you're getting mad at them for them cutting you off because you were toxic in their life. And I want to clarify that. I never said to cut anyone off in your life. I said, ask yourself why you're letting people disrespect you. Why, if you saw someone who was disrespecting you, disrespecting your sibling or someone you care about in the same way, why you would be upset at that, but not upset at if they were doing it to you. It's like talking to a wall, trying to explain this to someone who just doesn't want to listen. But I left the order because of that. Because I was the one who was not conforming to the way that they wanted me to be. I just wanted to be, I am asking my parents for the bare minimum is to love and accept me as I am, and they can't even do that. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking them to conform their entire life to what I want. I'm just asking them to love and expect love, and I can't even say it because it's like not even gonna happen. So why even bother? It just frustrates me that I'll get like order people DMing me who never show their face. It's like, and they try to give me advice, and I'm like, how can I take you seriously when you won't even show me who you are? Why would I take advice from a random stranger on the street? You know, that's what you're trying to be like. You should do da da da. But then it's like, okay, cool. So I think that's also another thing that bothered me. Like I woke up to a bunch of messages from order members like telling me that I'm basically a hypocrite because I'm saying love yourself and love yourself enough to not surround yourself with people who tear you down, and they took that as cut people off who aren't gonna, you know. It's like no matter what I say, you guys are just gonna twist it so that you will further believe in the religion and the cult. So, but here's the thing though, why are you watching me? I don't understand. Like, do you learn from it? Do you just love to hate? I don't get it. And if you're so happy in the order, you're so happy being in that religion, why are you constantly hate commenting and sending me hate messages? You sound really happy. So happy. Anyways. Oh, Crystal, it's here. Hi, Crystal. Hi, Flickerfade. Flickerface says 30 plus kids at his party. Surely he's down to like 23 by now. I know, right? Because he had, let's see. Yeah, you're right. He has had at least 8 kids leave. And you know what? It's not even much of a party without me there, so. Kidding. I know he's going to be watching this, and I hope he does. I hope he hears the things that he did fall short on, and the things that I hope to God he doesn't continue doing with his other kids. I hope he never protects abusers again, but that's just a hope. He doesn't ever listen to me, and he's one of the ones who does twist my words so that the kids don't listen. Thank you, Jackie. It's good to see you here. I am happy you were smart enough to stop drinking the culty Kool-Aid. Maybe watching your videos more will stop drinking the culty Kool-Aid and see the truth for themselves. I agree. I think that sometimes it's hard for me to see like the deeper picture and the bigger picture, but the fact is the ones that keep watching, whether they realize it or not, they are listening to these things that I'm saying, and I don't know, maybe they're realizing at least a little bit. 140 people are watching. Look, the likes are at 36 likes. That's my desk number. Please change that. I'm gonna like it right now. Please change that. When I first left the order, when I would like be on the treadmill, if the like speed was at 36, I would have to change it to like 40, or like it had to be a number that wasn't like 9, 8, 33, like a number that I knew of someone in the order. Like it was so triggering to see the number 36. Oh, it jumped up to almost 50 now. You guys are the best. See, I knew that if I did this live, I would feel better. I just like couldn't get myself to. I think the part of me that didn't want to go live was just knowing that like those gross dads in the order are gonna be watching, and I just don't want to think about that. But Amanda, you are an inspiration. Everything you have gone through is here. I'm really emotional right now, so stop. Stop it right now. Thank you, Lulu. Damn it. My goal has been ruined. I've been so like, just like, anything will just make me burst into tears today. And I don't know what exact, I think it's just like, I did therapy yesterday and I talked about a lot of this stuff, and it kind of, have you guys ever gone to therapy and you cry and it like opens up that like door of crying that you've been keeping shut for so long, and now that it's open it's like a waterfall of tears and you just like, I don't know what to, I don't know how to make it stop. That's where I'm at. But thank you, Lulu. Amanda, you are, stop it, Pamela. It's like 2 words and I'm crying. Inuma says, I just want to comment your bravery and strength, Amanda. These videos and your weekly commitment to CCC is extraordinary. You don't have to do this, but you do, and you are incredible. That's the thing, Inuma, and thank you for noticing, but also, I love being here with you guys. You guys, like, make my weeks. Oh, wow, I need to catch up on the comments. Thank you, Denise. You're so sweet. Hi, Russ. Oh, we're on Top Chat right now. You just reminded me, just seeing your name, Russ. I was like, we gotta go to live chat. You're planting the seeds and they don't know it yet. That's what I am hoping. I'm hoping that it can help at least a few people start to see for themselves, and maybe it will trickle, you know? Maybe they won't even realize that the thoughts came from me. Because I know there was times where, like, I really thought that they were my free thoughts, but then, like, years later, I was like, oh my gosh, that was someone else putting that into my, you know, planting that seed, kind of. But regardless, I just hope that them watching will help them kind of see, like, I don't know. I hate the idea that they all think I'm just this monster, but then I'm like, if you're watching me every week, do you really think I'm a monster? Because if I thought someone was a monster, why would I watch them every week, you know? You have to kind of like me. That's me just convincing myself. Hit that like button. Aw, thank you, Alice. Sounds like there are only a few fathers in the order. Most of them are just sperm donors. Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, I wish I had more examples of good fathers in my life, but most of the fathers that I knew were what I grew up with, right? And they were all really terrible. So it's so easy for, I don't know if you guys saw that message on my Instagram story where someone from the order was like, actually, I'm grateful for my dad because, you know, he's better than a lot of the dads, and I get to hug him. And I just was like, okay, so it's a luxury to hug your dad, first of all, and like, who are you comparing? Like, if you compare your dad to order dads, of course it's easy to say that they're great, because it's like comparing serial killers. Like, well, this one didn't kill as many, you know? It's like, not saying that order men are like killers. I mean, some of them are, but it's like comparing prisoners. It's like comparing, you know, like, not prisoners, that was a bad example. It's like comparing, I don't know, this bad to this bad. It's all still bad, but this is just less bad. Like, me and Cami actually were talking a little bit on this subject. Like, I do remember being like, wow, I am grateful that I didn't get abused as much as, like, Daniel abused his kids. But then it's like, am I really praising my dad for not being as abusive? Like, should I really be praising someone for not being terrible? No, you shouldn't be praising someone for not being terrible. They're just not as terrible, you know? It's like giving someone an award for not being a POS. Like, why are we doing that? You should be expected to do better. Thank you, Julie. Nicole says, that happened to me the past week. I had to take off work because of it. Well, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you took time for yourself. There's definitely was times when I was working a 9-to-5 job where I would just like cry at work because I didn't think about like my mental health being more important. These lives though help my mental health, I feel like. So they're like benefiting me for sure. Isn't it weird that even when our families mistreat us, we still have a need to be in their lives or at least be at peace with them? It's a strange thing. I that's where I'm at right now. I'm like, why is it that I still am so affected by what my dad thinks of me when he wouldn't even protect victims that were being abused by his own sons? Like he wouldn't even do the bare minimum for me. So why do I care? You know? In fact, he did worse. He did worse than like doing the bare minimum. He made my life harder. You know exactly what I'm talking about, Caroline. It sucks because it's like I hate feeling like you guys had to go through similar things, but I also feel so happy feeling understood by you guys. It's a weird feeling. First time catching your live. Love your channel so much. Father's Day is hard for me too. So glad I can be here today. Oh, we can all cry together. You know what's sad too is the more I started talking about like absent Father's Day and like bringing awareness to that, so many messages from people that were like, yeah, I didn't have a dad either, and yeah, da da da, and it's like, why is it that it's not only order men, but it's like there's a lot of deadbeats out in the world. Maybe it's like that women go through that pregnancy and they have that maternal instinct and I don't know. Regardless of what the reasoning is, men should be held to the same expectations, you know? They should be putting the same effort in as the mom, or, you know, it should be 100% from both sides, mother and father. Watching you and realizing you are brave to share with us your heart and soul, you inspire me to be more brave, to reach out to the lost. You are a beautiful soul. God is blessing you. Oh, thank you, Celeste. You appreciate what you have. You only know what you know. People in the cult don't know anything else, sadly, and that's true. I obviously I experienced that. I went through this phase of just feeling like, oh, I'm so blessed to be in the Lord's work, and this is such an amazing opportunity to be able to be in this secret cult, basically, and like the whole rest of the world poor them because they don't even get to know what it's like to be in God's kingdom. And then the older you get and the more knowledge you have, there's this theory. I love talking about this theory in psychology. It's what is it, the Dunning-Kruger effect, where it's like the less you know, the more you think you know, and the more you know, the less you think you know. So and I believe that 100%, because when I was younger, not knowing as much, the less I knew, I really thought I knew everything. And then as soon as I got older and I realized the world is so big and the universe is so big and there's so much I don't know, I was willing to accept the fact that I don't know. You know? Does that make sense? You know? Does that make sense? But that's something that it's so easy to be ignorantly blissful in a cult. It really is, because when that's all you know and you put the blinders on, then you don't have to be in reality. You don't have to question your belief systems. You can just follow. And for some people, it's so easy for them to just be told what to do, and they're so moldable in the order, some of them, that they will just follow, and that will be their life. And then I sometimes feel like when they do that for so long, they don't even know where to start if they were to leave. Like, they don't even know how to make a decision on their own anymore, because they were so ingrained to just follow the one above another. And then freedom is so scary. It's like, no, please tell me what to do. I had a story on that, but it was about an order person. I don't know if they want me to share too much of that conversation that I had with them. Maybe that's for the Patreon. Subscribe to the Patreon if you haven't already. We definitely talk a lot more about this stuff. And there's no filters. I think that makes sense, Amanda. Okay, I hope. You think? My daughter's father is not fit to be a father to her. I've taken both roles since she was 10 months old. She has plenty of love, but I worry about down the road. She's 6 now. That's the thing. I think if you're just honest with your kid, that's one of the most important things, is just to be honest with them. And I mean, of course, they're going to wonder where their dad is or why their dad, you know, this and that. There's going to be issues, but having a stable parent there is going to be such a world of a difference than, you know. Also, I don't like when someone tries to have the dad be a part of the kid's life even though they're not a good dad. Like, where's the line, you know? If a dad is very toxic to their kids, is very degrading to their children, and a mental abuser, an emotional abuser, some people like just want their kid to have that dad in their life so that they won't have these daddy issues, right? But by putting that crappy dad in their life, they're giving them more daddy issues. So it's almost better to just get rid of someone who's going to emotionally and verbally abuse the child, or worse, right? And then the child just has to deal with not having that, and then learning why later. If you're honest with your kid, I know that my dad thinks that I shouldn't give advice on how to raise kids, which is crazy because I raised his kids. I did daycare. I was a nanny. So I probably know more about children than he does. But my opinion is, if you're honest with your kids, you're honest with them, and you don't have to tell them everything when they're not ready to hear it, but when they ask, you can be honest with them. You can be age appropriate with them, and let them bond with you and trust that you are the person they can go to for the truth. You know? That's also, this is so off topic, but like why I don't think that I want to tell my kids that Santa's real, because I don't want my kids to be like, my mom lied to me. You know, I hated finding out that my parents were lying to me, because it made me feel like I can't trust anything they say. Like, is what they said yesterday true? Like, I don't know. Like, I question everything that they said now. Just because they're a kid doesn't mean that you can just lie to them, you know? Like, we in the order, it was kind of like we don't get to, respect is not something that we give to kids. It's only something adults get to have. And that's, like, so far off. It's going to create so many mental issues with a child if they think they don't deserve respect. Just think for 1 second what you're doing. Take a human development class. I think it's natural to want a parent's approval, no matter how good or bad. It's like needing validation, or even if we know we shouldn't, or are we deep down. Wait, what? I do think that that's a big point, though, is like your parents are those first people that you trust in your life, so it's really hard to like retrain your brain to just realize that they're also human too, and that they're not the person that you thought they were when you were a kid and you were so like moldable, you know. I'm sorry, Hope Star. Sounds like Father's Day is a hard day for a lot of us. 14 years ago, that's a long time. Well, I'm glad you're here with us. I can't say I know exactly what that's like, but I do know what it's like to not have a dad. And it sucks. But I'm here with you. The more you learn, the less you know is one of my favorite sayings. Yeah, it's true. Oh crap. Let me scroll down. There's so many comments. Studies have shown that as long as a child has one constant adult, they will be fine, so don't worry too much. I'm glad you shared that. I did not know that. But it also is like of course it's nice to have two because there's more help, but if there's two crappy parents, it doesn't matter, you know, it doesn't matter how many parents there are if they're all crappy. But if there's one stable, healthy, you know, good adult, I think you're very right, Alice. Michelle McLeod, my mom did a really good job not talking crap about my dad, but once he got out of prison, I got to see how crappy he is firsthand. That's smart, honestly. Like, I don't think it helps or benefits a kid to be like talking mad smack on their parent. But if the kid asks like, oh, why did dad go to prison, or why, you know, you can be honest with them without throwing them under the bus or talking bad about them. Russ says, my family likes to post on Facebook a family get together like today, and like, where's my invite? Russ, me and you both. I'm like, Dad, you don't want me to celebrate Father's Day with you? He's like, I'll have you escorted off the property. I'm like, good. You did raise his kids. Happy Father's Day, Amanda. Aw, thanks, Hope. It sucks because it's like, why does he get to have this big Happy Father's Day birthday when was he the one driving the kids to school every day? Was he the one fixing my little sister's hair every morning? Was he the one making them breakfast in the morning? Was he the one? No. No. You know what I saw most of my childhood growing up, what my dad was doing? He would watch the Raiders game. He would do fantasy football, and when we wanted to have bonding time with him, we had to I remember trying so hard to understand football so that I could relate to him and bond with him and watch football with him so that I could spend time with my dad. Did I feel like that was my responsibility to build a relationship with my father? And I was so young. And all of us know how to play poker because he liked poker and we wanted to be able to bond with him over that. So we would play poker with him. If we wanted to spend time with him, it was what he wanted to be doing. So that's why I hate the Raiders. Even though Raiders is like a Vegas football team. Did you guys know that, I don't know, I've heard some interesting stories about Raiders games since I've moved to Vegas. Grew up, moved to Vegas, daddy issues 101. Just kidding. I'm joking. I think it's I like to joke about my trauma and stuff, but I am happy that I decided to do therapy and I decided to work through and recognize that I do have these issues and try to work through them rather than just like live with them and not know what's going on and just like mosey along in life being confused in a vicious cycle. I feel like I'm breaking a cycle, which is great. Happy Father's Day, Amanda. Such a great job raising Eskel. That's my son. My little son. My dad wasn't the best when I was a kid. He was selfish, then he changed when I had a child, and it's horrible to see him be great for my 2 kids as he was not for me. I will tell them one day. That's the thing, is it's like, I always felt like I was like the least favorite kid in my mom's family, and I don't know why. I was literally talking to my therapist the other day about it. I was like, I don't know what it was, but like there was things that they said to me that I never saw them say to the other kids. And maybe it was just because I was not willing to just be molded, and also I did have a lot of responsibility on me from a young age, and so there was times where I got so fed up with it that I would run away, and you know, I was just always a difficult child. Happy Father's Day, Cami. Yep, Cami raised me. Cami was changing my diapers. She still changed my diapers. Just kidding. It's important to give the kids the facts and let them form opinions for themselves rather than talking trash about the other biological parent. I agree. Like, don't, and older people do this. They will just talk mad smack on, like, other religions, other races, other family members. They will just talk trash, and it's so negative and so toxic. But then the kids will have these negative, toxic feelings towards different races, and you know, because that's what they're raised in, that's all they know. But if you can just be honest with your kids, give them the facts. You don't have to be negative and trash. I wouldn't want to raise my kids having toxic mindsets to just talk bad about people and be in this negative headspace. That's raising them with very poor skills for their future. You know, I want to raise kids with a positive outlook on life, and it's not negative. But yeah, you want to give them the facts, and you want to be very honest with them and let them they'll be smart if you're raising them in a healthy way. They'll be smart to be able to recognize and make their own healthy choices for themselves. Kind of like what Jessica was saying in one of our lives together. She was like, because there was a order member who harassed Jessica and was like, one day I'm going to, basically she was threatening, saying that she was going to marry her daughter and he was going to marry her daughter and get her daughter to be in the order, like threatening her, saying that was like her worst nightmare, he's gonna get her. Anyways, who the hell says stuff like that? Gross. But at the end of the day, she was like, my kid would never ever be attracted to the order because my kid is so much healthier than that. They would never feel like they would need to join something toxic like that because she raises them to be healthier than that. Sorry, I feel like I'm really far behind on the comments, so I'm gonna scroll down. I tell my nieces and nephews, let's see. Amanda, do you know anything about the new documentary about about the order on Netflix. Worth it. Heard good. Are you talking about the FLDS documentary? Keep Sweet, Pray, and Obey. It's very triggering, especially if you come from a cult. But it's very eye-opening. I tell my nieces and nephews what their moms did to me, so they have open eyes about how their parents is. Yeah. Vanessa, when is another season? I don't know, girl. You're asking the wrong person. You were not a difficult child. You had more responsibilities, stressors than you should have. There is zero excuse for it, and I am so happy that you chose to be healthy and do what's best for you. Thank you, Lisa. And I hate that my brothers and sisters are going to take me choosing to be free from that type of abuse. They take it as me abandoning them, and it was just honestly, like, I had to get out to save myself, because at that point I was afraid of myself because of how toxic things had gotten with my relationship with my dad, with him trying to force me to marry my cousin. There was so much scarier things if I were to have stayed than to jump into the scary world on the outside. And I wish my siblings knew that, and I wish that they knew, I mean, they're only going to hear dad's side and my mom's side, but I wish they really knew the truth is that I will always be here with open arms for them if they ever need a place. I will always be here for them no matter what. Like, I know the mean things that my brothers have said about me. Like, I have cried over the things they've said about me, yet I would still be here for them if they needed me, because I understand why they think the things they do about me. Stay strong, Amanda. Oh, thank you, Dylan. That's sick. I think you're talking about the guy trying to saying that he's gonna marry Jessica's daughter. Yeah, and he was like 30. Jessica's daughter's was like 10 at the time. It's like so gross. It's like, what a great example of the Lord's place, right? And it's so funny that the Order's website is like, the first page is like, we believe in the golden rule, and like left and right, like Order people are like harassing people who have different beliefs as them, and people who like are different races and who believe in mixing races. They like, it's like, you guys really believe in the golden rule? You don't practice it at all. And I would know. I was in the cult. Maybe they treated you differently because they wish they were as outspoken as you. I don't know. My therapist was like, do you think your mother was jealous of you? Do you think your mother was threatened by you? And I was like, I don't know. I really don't. Because my mom specifically did say things to me in front of all of the kids that even Eskel to this day was like, yeah, I was shocked that mom would say those things to you. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know why I was specifically treated like that, but I'm trying really hard not to validate or invalidate myself based on how they treated me, because they are in a cult. They are not living in reality. They're living in this world where they believe that, basically living like Warren Jeffs is what God wants. They don't think that, though. They'll watch, some of them will watch the documentary about Warren Jeffs and be like, wow, that's so sad that they went through all of that. It's like, bro, you guys are doing the same thing. Like, how do you not see the similarities? It is like jaw-dropping how close they are. Yes, two different cults, but living the same life. All for God, right? Is it for God or is it for Paul? Oh, now she missed my comment about the Chargers. Haha. Wait. Let me see, David. It's all the way up there. I don't see it. Chargers are better than the Raiders. Haha. Take that, Dad. I don't really watch football. Only if I'm placing a sports bet. And even then, I don't even like watching. Just kidding. I know that it's because of my dad, though. Like, I also hated chess because of him, because he would, like, belittle us if we couldn't win him in chess. He would make us feel so dumb. He would be like, any of my kids who can win me in chess, I'll pay you $1,000. And that's exactly how he said it. Just kidding. But yeah, then we would obviously lose because we were, like, 12 and he was, like, 37. And he'd be like, haha. So I didn't play chess for like 2 years, longer than that after I left, because I hated the game. But I just recently started getting back into it, and I'm on chess.com. I go back and forth with it. I don't even know how to use the chess.com all the way. I just like to play random. I just like to lose.
Hey, look, you got the trash.
Amanda, are you doing another collab mug? I received mine today and thank you. Aww. We are. It's just hard because I'm in Vegas and he's in Utah. So what he's gonna have to do is like paint his own painting and then send it to me. What we did while we were together in Utah is we did art together. So maybe we'll just have to be like one piece is Eskel's piece, one piece is my piece, you know? Unless he wants to come visit me. Dude, imagine introducing your cousin as your husband. This is my husband. Imagine introducing your brother as your husband, my brusband, or your sister as your wife, your sife. They do that in the order. It's crazy. The order thinks the FLDS is so crazy. The FLDS thinks the order is crazy because the FLDS won't even marry their half-siblings. They have a line. And the order just has no bounds to what they will do to get into heaven. Oh, except men will not share their wives. That is the line. Treat others how you want to be treated, but men will, to put themselves in the woman's shoes, that is just way too much to be asking them to be doing. The women are the real heroes. The women are the ones that should get the numbers. They're the ones sacrificing the most. Why are we giving the numbers to the men who come to their favorite wife's house, honestly? Some of them just hang out with the favorite ones and then just go over to the lesser favorites when it's their ovulation time. And we're giving them numbers? For what? Pleasuring themselves? This is their heaven. Of course they think that the order's heaven on earth because they don't have any responsibilities and everyone else bows down and kisses their toes. And everything else. You know what? Let's talk about this. I am in a mood to talk about this. I don't care if this video gets demonetized. You guys donated money. It's great. If you want to get my PayPal, that's fine too. This one, I don't care if I make money off this. I'm not going to put ads on this video. The order, what people don't talk about in the order, but a lot of order people know this, there is a lot of the order men, specifically Paul and his brothers, will coerce their wives into having multiple partners during sexy time, whatever you want to call it. They will, some of them will guilt their wives into, because they have to please their husband, because their husband is next to God, and you don't question God, right? You have to follow in the law of one above another, and they know the men use that to their advantage in anything. In money, to get them properties, and to sexual pleasures. So multiple men will coerce their wives, who some of them are also their sisters, half-sisters, to have intercourse with multiple of the other wives who are also this girl's sisters for the Lord. This is all for the Lord, you guys. Are you throwing up yet? Because I'm not done. Actually, maybe I am. Caitlin's like, go off. And yet, people in the order know that this stuff is happening. There was actually a time where so Advanced Copy is the order. I don't know if they still have this, but I worked there at the time that I was in the order, and it was this copy shop that because they had to have their own copy shop to be able to print off their wedding invitations, because the people looked so young. Like, are they going to go to Walmart and do that? No, it's going to cause eye-opening things to see, you know, the public seeing these young kids having invitations to their wedding, or people that look like siblings, or people with the same last names getting married to each other because they're related. So they had this copy shop that had all of these pictures that they would print off for these secret weddings and whatever. There was pictures found of a man, numbered man, one of Paul's brothers, who was posing naked with all of his wives, naked. When someone in the order found that, they were so mad that they sent it around. This is a known thing, and maybe some of the younger generation don't know about this, but this is something that happened and that a lot of the older generation know about. And some people have copies of this picture. I'm not lying. A lot of order members are going to think I am. But this is a known thing that these numbered men are doing this, and this is they're having their wives, convincing their wives that they need to do it even if they're uncomfortable with it, because pleasing them is like pleasing God. If older people know that this is going on, do you really want to go to a heaven like that? Do you really want to die and be in eternal hell, is what it sounds like to me, constantly having to please someone like that? Really? Well, I hope that I go somewhere far away from that. Sorry if I made you guys throw up. I'm in a mood today to just punch them all. Say what you feel, sister. Thanks. It did. Do a rare few order members become drug addicts while still in the order? There are some. Yep. There are some addicted to drugs that are in the order, some that deal drugs, and some that, I mean, actually, a lot of them are, not that this is a drug, but a lot of Paul's kids are actually addicted to vaping. I don't know where they get their vapes from, though. That is some con artist stuff. You know, when I was researching Joseph Smith, and I hope this doesn't offend any LDS people, but when I was researching Joseph Smith, I found stories that were similar, where Joseph, well, you guys tell me, you guys do your research, but there was a story about how a woman didn't want to be with Joseph Smith, and he said that Moroni would come down and smite them with a sword if they did. Do you know what I'm talking about, the fiery sword story? If anyone wants to share a link to that, leave it in the comments down below. Also, I didn't put anything in my comments in my description box yet, but I'm gonna be putting some TikToks that made me laugh today because I had a really bad day, so I'll put them down in the description box later on so you guys can come back and laugh at the TikToks that made me feel better. Because I was hoping to come on here and not bring you guys down with me, and I feel like I kind of have a little bit, so I'm gonna make up for that with these TikToks that might just make you think, Amanda, you're stupid. You would think the amount of genetic defects in the kids would be high. Yeah, well, they do blood testing because they were very high, so they had to start blood testing because they're marrying so close. And yes, this is still happening in America. Salt Lake City, Utah, baby. I'd rather go to hell, right? Like, where's my ticket to hell? I don't even want to look at what they're doing in heaven. That will traumatize me. I know I'm late, Amanda, but in case you read this, I live in Texas, lost my husband 15 months. Oh, my precious twin sister 9 months later, and oh gosh, I'm sorry, Millie. Sounds like everyone's been going through a rough week, and I feel really bad, but I'm glad that we could all be together here right now. This is part 2 of my message, how can I help you? Oh, I'm sorry, Millie. Talk about abuse of power. Yeah, it is really sad that that it works. That these women really do get guilted into just being these sexual slaves for these men because this ticket to heaven is being dangled in front of them. But also, I think that on the topic of what we were just barely talking about, how people are so used to following, you know, the chain of command and being told what to do, that it's like almost having a free thought is scary now because they were so used to being this drone. They don't even know how to be a human individual person anymore. I think that a lot of them are very numb. Do any of the women, maybe they don't mind those sexual things because they secretly are hiding their true sexuality, or is this always happening without consent? I thought about that, and I think there are some cases where the women are lesbians, and so they're fine with it. But there 100% is some cases where the women have begged the husband to make it stop. And marital rape isn't even a word, also. Like, there's been so many times where women are, like, so excited for their husband to get married again because they want their husband to get off of them. It's like, this is still happening. And it blows my mind. And yet, like, I am this bad, terrible person for bringing it to light. It's like, well, I'm not going to protect the abusers. So if I'm a bad person for telling the truth, then let me be the bad person. If I'm the bad person, me? Oh my gosh, then what are you? Mariah says you can get liquid weed in vape pens. I wonder if they're doing that. But it's like, where are they getting it? I don't know. And then there's that rumor that Daniel has this pot farm, right? I mean, pretty sure everyone in the order knows that's not really a rumor. Kiki says yes, that Joseph Smith stuff is super similar. I'm going to research that again later today. Because obviously I didn't live in Joseph Smith's time, so I don't know all of the but we can look at like the history of what people have written down. So it's actually not even about religion or relationship with God. It's just a group with a lot of perversion and other bad behaviors. Yeah. It's very similar to War and Jess too. Like if you heard that Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey documentary, I can't even watch the whole thing. It is so similar to the order. It's like they get these followers so controlled that literally the leader could tell them to do anything and they will do it. They will bow down and do it. And I want to mention this again. I mentioned this, I remember one time before, but I'm going to mention this again. I remember a conversation with a loyal order member who was dedicated to the leader. She's like really old now. Sorry, that was... Well, she is. She's older. She's a lot older. She is older than Paul. I think she's around, or tell... Anyway, she is like an older woman who's very dedicated to the order, and her child asked her, they said, what if Brother Paul told you to do something and you prayed about it and Heavenly Father said no? Would you listen to Heavenly Father or would you listen to Paul? And they said, the woman who was the dedicated order member said, I would listen to Paul because that's following the chain of command, and the Lord would be proud of me for doing that. And Paul would get the repercussions if it was wrong, not me. And that's how a lot of cult members live by. Like, their entire life is lived by that, because, I mean, that's the ultimate control right there. If you can convince someone to literally do anything you say, and even if it's wrong, they need to do it, like, that is so much power. You're set for life. Why even have a brain? Why even have a free thought? Just let them think for you. Why even have a life? Why even pray? Why even question anything? Not a rumor. While working in one of the order construction companies, I worked with a guy that told me he has been to the order weed farm in Colorado. I've talked to people with similar stories, and people actually send me pictures of it too, but I don't want to get anyone in trouble. Yeah, isn't that funny? It's like they're so anti-drugs and alcohol and da-da-da, but if they can make money off of it. I heard some other stuff about, maybe I'll save that for next week. We've really just been gossiping. It's not gossip, actually. This is true stuff. It's just like, it's funny because, like, people in the order will tell me to, like, why do you have to, like, say such bad things about the order, da-da-da. Oh, I've been holding back. I have. You want me to really, you think I'm talking bad? Sorry, somebody just tried to call me. I do think that part of me has been like, oh, maybe I'll try to be a little bit like keep people's secrets and not air out their dirty laundry because I want to still have this like good relationship with my where's my good relationship with my family? It's non-existent. This is me like thin air. It's that's my relationship with them. Even if and that's the thing too, is when I first left the order, I was basically living like an order member on the outside, except for not living polygamy. Yeah, I was like, the second I left, my name was drugged through the mud. Yeah, I still get people in the order being like, where's your loyalty? We're your family. Why don't you protect us? Where were you when I needed the protecting? When I was getting abused, where was my protection? Where was your loyalty? But I have to be the one to protect you? What? Hello? Do you hear yourself? It's just like, you can't even reason with that. You can't even, it's like, I say those things like, where were you when I needed it? They're like, what? Why did you need any protecting? It's like, exactly. Bye. You are expecting me to hold you to this higher standard and to respect you way more than you ever did for me. Golden rule my ass. Cranky babushka, let it all out. I am, obviously. I hope you realize how many scared little girls have listened to you about the abuse. Don't stop. Thank you, Millie. And I know this because I have had order girls reach out to me. I know the abuse that I talk about, they realize that it's happening to them. Because here's the thing, when marital rape is not a word used, right? So they don't know it exists till someone starts to talk about it. Like, hey, if they're trying to have sex with you and you're not okay with it, doesn't matter if they're your husband. You are a human being who has rights, and they don't get to take those from you. They don't hear that. No one tells them that. So they think it's just okay that they're being walked all over. I'm here to tell you, it is not. You deserve respect too. You deserve to be, like, this is your body. It's not theirs. I know they like to act like it is, because they treat women like cattle. If the order wasn't so shady, you wouldn't have to say anything. That's something that I told one of my family members, because they were like, what, please stop like telling all of the dirty, like, not dirty, I think they're dirty little secrets, but they're like, please stop telling the secrets of your family. And I'm like, I mean, if you guys were just being honest and like not doing anything shady, then you wouldn't have anything to hide. Simple as that. Okay. Wow, we have 176 people watching. Hello, order members. Hello, Dad. Hope you had a happy Father's Day. You didn't deserve it. Just kidding. Sorry, I'm being petty right now. Spill it, Amanda. Oh, I am. You don't have to protect your abuser. Exactly. It's sad that not only in the order do people protect their abusers, but on the outside I've seen it a lot too. And it's usually like family things where they're like, oh, don't throw your family under the bus and remember we're your family. But it's like, okay, but what about when I was getting abused? Was I your family? Like, what about that? Where were you? You know? And the fact is, if we are protecting ourselves now and that's hurting you guys because there was abusers, you should think about that. If you're telling me that I need to protect someone who is abusing me, you should think about that. Consent is a concept that is complete foreign to the women in the cult. Ugh, I was on live chat, Russ, but then I refreshed the page and now it's on top chat. Now it's on live chat again. Even if I was on live chat, I can't keep up with all these comments. I have the same situation as you with my family, and we're not LDS, but my fifth great grandmother was Molly Knight, so my family's full of lies and incest. I don't know who Molly is. Molly Knight like Brigham Young's one of their wives? I'm gonna look up that name later. Lisa says abusers don't deserve any protection. You could be saving someone just by speaking the truth. And that's the thing that I've realized. I've realized by not sharing my story, I feel guilty for not sharing what's going on because I am potentially helping the abusers continue to abuse by not speaking out. Does that make sense? I feel like if I don't continue to do this, or if I didn't ever start, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night because I would know that it's continuing and I'm not doing anything about it. Like I ran away and now I'm safe. Bye, you know? I would feel like I feel obligated to share my story and to bring awareness to this because if I don't, I'm contributing. Does that make sense? I know that's not necessarily 100% true, but for me it feels that way. The more I rant, the more I cry, the more I heal and the move forward. I hope that's true, because I've been crying a lot, so that must mean there's a lot of healing, right? It's getting dark, can you guys tell? It's probably almost time to go. Okay, I'm gonna skip down and then, because it's getting dark and I don't have a light in this room and I can't find the little like plug connector. It's in here somewhere, but I've just been laying in my bed all day and I don't want to get off. Stop! I'm gonna catch up on these comments in the like bottom section. So if you guys have anything you want to say, I'm gonna read these ones at the end, and then I'm gonna let you guys go, and hopefully you guys have a happy Father's Day. Good luck with the appointment, Russ. I'm going to try one more time, and then I gotta go to bed. I have a doctor's appointment early. Oh, okay, good. Yeah, that's what they're responding to. Good luck with the appointment, Russ. Just feel the need to say again that any decent parents would be bursting with pride at having kids like you and your siblings. You hear that, Dad? Just kidding. At this point, like, I don't even like calling him Dad, and I totally like understand why a lot of Daniel's kids don't call him Dad. They just call him Daniel because like he isn't a dad. He doesn't fit that role. So why should we call them that? You know. I like that you spelled Verl's name wrong, Mariah. He probably spells my name wrong too. Same, Lulu. There are so many messages. Oh, messages about what? Good luck tomorrow. Oh, with Discord. Yeah. You guys, if you join the Patreon, then you can join a Discord, just so you know. Holidays are always hard when you are a person who had to escape from an abusive family. It's Father's Day, lots of triggers. Yeah, and Emma, I don't know if Emma's here right now, but she had a really good idea to, instead of like being sad on Father's Day, to do like a siblings day, because us siblings kind of helped raise each other. So I think that was a really cool idea, Emma. Thank you for that, because I called Eskel and I was like, hey, I have an idea. I like claimed your idea as my own. Mary's like, they both are watching. Good. They should be. It's like, finally, I'm gonna be honest. I felt like my dad never listened to me in the order. Never. And he would just laugh at my ideas and belittle me. And there is a part of me, if I'm honest, there's a part of me that's like, wow, you're finally listening. And you come back every week. But I do wonder why. I never really can fully understand him, but it's also like, how do you can't fully understand a narcissist, I don't think, without being one, can you? Maybe you can. And Dad, if you don't know what a narcissist is, if you look it up in the dictionary, you'll see a picture of you. No, I do want to say a narcissist. So this is a good thing for everyone to know. A narcissist has multiple qualities, but if you watch my video on how to become brainwashed, or how to brainwash, I can't remember what it's called, but I made a video in October about it. But it basically talks about the traits, the characteristics of a narcissist, and a big one is gaslighting. And then there's also narcissists are like almost incapable of putting themselves in others' shoes, and it's almost like they're victims. They don't even see them as victims because they can't comprehend what the victims are going through because of them. And then another character trait is they're always right. They're never wrong, and it's everybody else's fault, never theirs. Those are just a few characteristics. If you guys like hearing stuff like that, you should watch that video, because it like I was watching actually today, and I was like, wow, I did a lot of research for that, and gotta pat myself on the back. I also talked about how a lot of women in the order have Stockholm syndrome for their abusers, and I 100% agree with that. I want to take another psychology class. However much of a loss you feel having them for parents, their loss is greater for missing out on you all. Oh, thank you, Flicker Fade. Keep fighting the good fight and don't let anyone take away your shine. Thank you, Ken. You're amazing. You're making a difference to many young girls' lives. Thank you, Hope. Amanda, you have tried the coffee I sent you. Oh, yes. That was from you? Thank you. Have you heard anything from the insider that was on the show at all? No. I've heard about them, but I have not directly spoke with them. Thank you, Pamela. Oh, shoot. Okay, I'm going to skip all the way down. Wait, what did... Kyle Grant would be so proud of you. I missed it again. Oh. I hope that your day is better, Amanda. You are so inspiring, and I'm rooting for you. Thank you, Lisa. It's honestly already better because of you guys. Ooh, it's not day anymore, though. It is nighttime. Okay, you guys. I know I did not read all the comments, and I'm sorry. I tried. There were a lot of comments, but I really appreciate all of you guys who showed up. I need good luck that Amanda sees my comments. I thought I read your comment, Russ. Looks like she passed my comment for the third time. What comment? I don't see it. And I'm not trying to. I know that there's just a lot of comments on here. I'm even skipping Eskel's comments. Like I can't even, I'm realizing as I scroll up, oh, Eskel commented. And I'm not trying to skip them. It's just there's 190 people watching right now. And I'm assuming a few order members are in there. It is so dark in there, Amanda, lol. I know, okay, I'm gonna go. But I really appreciate you guys being here, and I'm glad I made it, and you guys did. I cried a lot earlier, and I'm thinking that I'm not going to cry anymore unless they're happy tears because of how nice you guys have been to me today. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Mariah sent me an Instagram message. I'll check my Instagram's really hard to respond to everyone, but I can try today. I have some time, and I'll respond to all my Patreon messages as well. And then I'm just gonna go through all of that because I have the energy right now to do that. Love you guys. Thank you, Caroline. Love you too. Thanks for doing the live. Of course, Cutthroat. Thanks for being here. It was good to see you guys too. Love you. Call me back. Bye. Okay, bye you guys.